Well, hello, dear listeners. I hope you're doing well on this Saturday. We're about a week into the month now, day over, and I hope everyone's February is going well. I'm sure at this point in time, mine's probably going pretty well. Obviously, recording this before the day it goes live, but I'm certain that on February 8th, I'll be doing just fine. I hope you all are doing fine as well. That said, we are going back to the roots of this channel once again. We seem to always end up here. And today we are going to cover 5 more paranormal experiences from Reddit. I always love doing these paranormal stories, and you guys seem to really enjoy them. As long as there's content, I think I'm going to keep doing them as frequently as I have been. I'm not going to become solely a paranormal story channel, just because I love my horror stuff, and I love these other ones like Creepy Encounters and everything. So, that all said, I hope you guys are ready, because here are 5 more. That was probably too many. Anyway, here are 5 more paranormal experiences straight from Reddit. Enjoy. Coming up to Christmas has reminded me of something that happened a few years back. My family and my in-laws were enjoying Christmas at our house. It was evening, so with the kids there were 6 of us. I came out of the downstairs toilet, and out of the corner of my eye, I saw someone at the top of the stairs. I assumed someone else had needed the toilet and couldn't wait until I had finished. I walked past the kitchen, seeing my wife getting snacks. Then I go to the living room, and everyone else was there. There is only one way to get to the living room, and nobody had passed me, so who was that at the top of the stairs? I did go back and look up the stairs, but there was no one there. I'd like to say I rushed up and checked each room, but I didn't. It's not the first time that I've seen somebody lurking, but this is the most memorable and specific time when I was certain that I could account for everyone in the house. I've shared my experience somewhere else, but I decided to share it here too. Before me and my family moved to a newly built house, we used to live in a 25-year-old house, maybe older. I had 15 years of childhood memories there, some normal and some are scary. I'd seen a shadow on the wall move towards the kitchen when I was a kid, no windows in there and completely impossible for car lights to cast someone's shadow on the wall from the nearest window, which was in another room. Then my keychain, which was a plastic skull thing, which I had a button, and if you press it, it would play a laughing sound, was turned on for no apparent reason. The keychain was on the fridge. I thought my brothers were messing with me, but it was 2 a.m., and there was no one else there. And my mom usually saw people moving out of the door, and she said she saw my father or brother going out, but when she asked them, they said they weren't home at that time. And as a kid, I was afraid to go into the yard at night. I always felt as if something was chasing me there. Maybe normal childhood stuff. We renovated the house later. The number of strange things were reduced, but never really ended. My mom used to have bad dreams about the people she knew, and all of them would turn true after a couple days or on that same day. I used to hear a glass closet door being shut. My father built a closet with a glass door, but he removed it after a few months and made it a normal wooden door. So I heard the sounds when there was no glass door anymore, and the sounds came exactly from the bedroom where it used to be. I always had nightmares of being in a dark place with everything in slow motion. I rarely saw the dream when I got older, but I saw it once days before going to the new house. And once a piece of bread and salt was found out of nowhere on our rooftop. There was no way someone could have thrown it up there because it was a 3-story house, and in my country's culture, it is believed that bread and salt is a tool of witchcraft. So fast forward, the other 2 freaky things happened to me was that one night I heard screams from outside, which could have been my imagination. But the second one was not my imagination. I was on the 2nd floor alone watching TV around 3 p.m., I was 15 at the time, when I heard a demonic laughter coming out of the bedroom. I immediately ran downstairs and waited until my parents returned. I never told them because I was too scared to talk about it with anyone, and I thought if I didn't tell anyone, it would never happen again. Hey guys, so I was browsing this thread reading everyone's story until I remembered one of my paranormal experiences. It was a few years ago when I was in high school. I was visiting my godmother. Her lungs were in a really bad state. She was sick all the time and had pneumonia after pneumonia. We were in bed that night watching TV before going to sleep. She had a fairly large bed and I was sleeping next to her because she was sick, so I could be there if she needed anything. We turned off the TV and went to sleep. All of a sudden, I awoke and was overcome with dread. Then the television clicked on by itself. The remote was not near me nor my godmother. Then I looked to her side of the bed, and I kid you not, there was something like a black dog standing there. It had black, shiny eyes, and I was completely stunned. I took my phone to distract myself, and it went away. The next morning, my godmother told me she had an awful nightmare about a black dog. Also, after a while I was in her apartment alone, I saw a shadow pass through the corridor. I went to check after a while, and the light, which I firmly remember I left on in the kitchen, was now turned off. There was always a constant atmosphere of negativity and dread, but after a year and a little longer, all those things stopped happening. Does anyone know what these things could have been? And how did it all just go away all of a sudden? Are those kinds of things attracted to negativity? So this all happened a year or so ago, kind of a classic little ghost story type thing, but it freaked me out. So a little backstory, my dad lives in this newer built house, so no creepy backstory, and I normally would get up for school around 8, and the house would be completely empty. Also, it's an open floor plan, so noises carry really easily, just for further explanation. One morning I had gotten up and was getting out of the bathroom for my shower when I hear the cabinets downstairs banging open and shut. My immediate thought was, oh no, I'm being robbed. So I wait quietly in my bathroom for a while, text my sister who tells me it's fine. I quietly go into my room, and as soon as I'm in there, the noises stop completely. I called my dad next, who convinces me that I probably just imagined it, so I get dressed very quickly and head downstairs. Everything is fine, doors are locked, nothing missing, but I have this creepy feeling like something is behind me looking at me, so I booked it out of there. When I get back home and tell my sister about it, she tells me that it's fine, and that there's a ghost, but that he's nice, and he watches her sleep, but it doesn't bother her. I've had a few weird incidents like this in the house, like footsteps on the stairs, but that was the first time it was something so noticeable and freaky. Also, my friend that I've left at the house to run errands and such have said other weird things to me like that. A few even refuse to stay at the house alone because they feel a weird energy. I know most of the stories on here have a lot more intense visuals and such, but to me, this was enough to send me running. Anyway, since there's no creepy history and the only other thing that happened around this time was a bout of serious bad luck type of events, should I be convinced that this is all settled? Again, no experience with otherworldly things, just wondering if ghosts or whatever it could be, go away on their own. I have only ever had 2 encounters with things considerably supernatural that I could vividly remember. One may have just been the wind, causing my cousin's bedroom window to rattle. It rattled every time I denied that my cousin saw a ghost like he said he saw the night before. This happened many, many years ago. The other one happened in either 2013 or 2014 on my senior year of high school. My then girlfriend at the time claimed her house was like a portal between dimensions of the living and the dead, and that she couldn't shower for more than 5 minutes because there was a black spirit of a little girl in her shower that could maybe harm her. She claimed her family was Catholic, but they had very strange practices involving spirits. I don't know if it had to do with her Chinese ancestry or what. They believed that in each generation of their family, someone has to take on some kind of burden for the rest of their lives involving spirits. She told me her mom was supposed to be a nun, but then backed out on the day of her coronation, so apparently my girlfriend took on that burden in her stead. She also claimed that ever since we got together, she had been having the same dream every night where spirits from Filipino folklore would kill her family in brutal ways, like how everyone died in the end of that Blood Sea anime. Anyway, one day she conducted an experiment on me and my curious friend. We did it in the sports complex of our high school after class hours. Mind you, I don't have the so-called third eye, and I say so-called because I'm like Philip from the Bible and won't believe spirits are truly real until I see them for myself. But back to the story. My friend and I were extremely curious to witness some paranormal phenomenon, so she gathered us and had the 3 of us Indians sit in a triangle formation facing each other on the ground. Me and my friend took turns. I went first. I had to cover my ears with my hands and shut my eyes without peeking or opening them until told. I had to listen to the silence to hear them, as instructed. She told me to stop listening and opening my eyes if I felt like a presence was getting too close to me. After a few seconds of focusing and trying to ignore sounds from the environment, I pick up on what sounds like 2 grown males, maybe between the ages of 30 to 40, having a conversation. Get this, it was in Latin. Priests, maybe? I have also never heard Latin before other than that one chant in Adventure Time, but I was certain that it was Latin. My school is run by Jesuit Catholic priests. Not sure how old my school is exactly, but maybe it's old enough like other schools in the Philippines where there used to be priests, nuns, and friars running the school, and now their souls still linger. That's why I'm almost certain that they were conversing in Latin. The sound of their voices were growing louder and more audible in my ears, as if they were walking side by side and coming down the steps behind me, even though I was a good 20 feet away from the staircase. My girlfriend tried to wake me and get me to stop, but I wanted to keep listening. I was so intrigued. When their voices got so close that they sounded like they were speaking in full volume next to my ear, she grabbed hold of my arm, and that's when I opened my eyes. My friend went next, and I observed him, his facial expression showing the same level of intrigue as mine. Afterwards, he said he heard a little girl crying distantly. My girlfriend told me when we were done that had I not opened my eyes a second sooner, one of the spirits could have entered my body. I still think about this to this day, and I know it would be best to keep away from that and all that. The topic of the supernatural always tickles my curious pickle. Though, people I know who claim to see and hear say they wish they could just be normal like everyone else. So if it is real, I'll just continue to ponder and keep my pickle on the safe side. I don't seek advice, I just want to hear your guys' thoughts, similar experiences, etc. For discussion purpose only. So there's that, my dear listeners. I hope you enjoyed those stories. There's some pretty interesting ones, especially the one with the last one there with the priest souls. I'm genuinely curious on that. Sometimes I hear voices in my head too, just kind of randomly saying words whenever I'm all alone, but that could be something not related to spirits. We won't go there though. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did enjoy it, please give it a thumbs up, like it. That helps a lot, trust me. Also, if you enjoy my narrations, please consider hitting the subscribe button and the bell button to know whenever I make a new post. I typically post on Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, but that may be changing some in the near future. Kind of weighing my options on that. Also, if you would be so bold, please consider leaving me a comment. I love to interact with you guys, and I love to hear from you. It kind of keeps me going in all this. Liking and subscribing is great, but getting comments to have conversations, it kind of inspires me to do this more. So if you would, comment, tell me how you're doing. I'll have a conversation about that. Tell me how you thought about the story. I'll have a conversation about that. Send me a link to a picture of your pet. I would love to see any of your pets, because I have 2 cats, and I love my cats, and I love animals. Especially if you have birds. If you go to my liked video playlist, you're gonna find that a lot of my liked videos are narrations and birds. I wish I could turn that playlist off, but I can't. All stories are sourced in the description below, as always. Check them out. Also, my social media links are down there, so you can always check those out as well. Yeah, just basically check out everything down there, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. But until the next video, my friends, I hope that you sleep well.